from News Channel 8 on your side. Chick-fil-A's DEI leader sparks calls for boycott. That's right. Chick-fil-A has hired a diversity, equity, and inclusion officer, VP, named Eric McReynolds. Says Chick-fil-A restaurants have long been recognized as a place where people know they will be treated well. Modeling care for others starts in the restaurant, and we are committed to ensuring mutual respect, understanding, and dignity everywhere we do business. These tenets are good business practice and crucial for fulfilling our corporate purpose, blah, blah, blah. They then go on to list a whole bunch of garbage and people and stuff like that. And at the bottom, they say that they have a commitment to DEI.
Look, I'm from Georgia, which is where Chick-fil-A is based out of and literally was formed and founded. If there's a long-term boycott of Chick-fil-A, then conservatives won everything, because I don't know that you're going to pull that one off, because there's a lot of people that are going to fight back on that.
I say boycott Chick-fil-A.
I'm not saying whether you do or not. I'm saying if it actually is successful, I will be very impressed, because that's going to be I could not imagine a more difficult company to talk conservative moms into boycotting in my home state of Georgia. That's going to be a rough one.
Even if you're showing them this,
they will overlook a lot. And I think a lot of those moms don't, when you just say DEI, like, look, they're taking their kids to 14 different practices and running around all over the place, and you're trying to say DEI this, and like, I don't know. I'm just getting my kids nuggets with a pleasant person that's nice to me. Well, I get what you're saying with the argument for it. I just don't know that it will be successful.
Yeah, so
it's easier to villainize Bud Light,
than
Chick-fil-A.
I would agree, but this is also part of why this is so disappointing to me. Chick-fil-A has sort of had a bit of wokeness creeping into it over the years. In 2020, during the BLM riots, I believe that the founder was supporting BLM. Don't quote me on that. It might have either been the founder or the CEO. But there have been a number of issues there, and it's a shame, because I was very proud to support Chick-fil-A and what they were doing for quite a while. And I thought the left's reaction to them was very fascinating and very telling, because the left said that Chick-fil-A was evil. And why was Chick-fil-A evil? Well, because one of the owning members or CEOs or higher-ups didn't spend the company's money, but spent his own money donating to an organization that was not pro-LGBTQ. That was in favor of preserving marriage.
It was a church camp or something.
Yeah, and people lost their minds over this. Yeah. Now think about this for a moment. Chick-fil-A is known to not only be one of the most profitable fast food chains per franchise, but they're also known to be one of the best franchises in terms of how they treat their employees. They pay them decently, especially as far as fast food restaurants go, and they ensure to give all of them one single day off every single week, where they're not going to try to profit off of them. They're going to give them a day to relax and be there for their family, even if it means they're not selling to their customers that day. The worst thing the left should have been able to say about Chick-fil-A is, well, it's morally complicated, because they should have appreciated the fact that they treated their workers well, but they don't, because they don't care about workers. They care about their sick, perverse sexual agenda, and anyone who opposes it, even with just a whisper, has to be absolutely destroyed. And I remember Burger King released an advertisement during Pride Month about 2 years ago, where they said they were releasing their own chicken sandwich, and their chicken sandwich was in favor of LGBTQ rights, and you could get it on Sunday. So in the same breath, they were mocking Chick-fil-A for being anti-LGBTQ and mocking them for giving their workers one day off of work. Burger King should be ashamed for the way they treat their workers.
It's not just a sexual agenda. It is an all-around cultural revolution.
Yeah, but I think it starts with that. I think that's a huge part of it.
I think it's just absolutely obvious what this is. Like, we talked about this before, but DEI, literally is the Latin singular for God. These people are creating offices of God, but it's not. It's a simulacrum. Someone commented that a moment ago, that Dylan Mulvaney is a simulacrum, not the words in my mind. It is a false image of religion that is being created to substitute for people, and they are marching in lockstep like deranged psychopaths.
That's I think both are true.
Cultural. The son, Dan Cathy Jr., is not his father, and if I had to make a prediction and bet all the beer in the world on it, I would say that Dan Cathy Jr. is going to cave to the left.
Dan Cathy Jr., who's that?
Yeah, the son, and maybe the second junior or whatever.
Of the owner of Chick-fil-A?
Yeah. Truett Cathy's the founder, and then I guess...
Oh, I see. Dan Cathy is the chairman.
Is he...
Currently.
Right, but is he a junior?
I disagree with you. I think Chick-fil-A will be one of the easier things to boycott.
No, I'm saying, I'll bet you money on that one. I'm just, they're not a public company. They're not a public company.
which means
Correct.
it's easier to pressure.
No, you can't kill. You can't go after their stock.
But see, the thing about Chick-fil-A is that they already have the disadvantage of being the Christian company when it comes to the issue with the left. So the left is targeting them very heavily and ignoring all these other companies that have done anything remotely similar. I think one of the funny things about the Chick-fil-A boycotts from the left was that other companies had made similar donations, but nobody cared. It's because Chick-fil-A was overtly Christian.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A, my understanding, well, they're trying to get into more urban markets, but because Chick-fil-A is so pronounced, conservatives have identify with it and are now going to be, in my opinion, much more offended by it. And you mentioned suburban moms. Dad might be like, I go to Popeyes. That's all it takes. All it takes is for the husband of the dad to be like, just go to Popeyes, honey. It's across the street.
But the thing
I
about,
get it, but I'm from Georgia, and look, I get the understanding of like we should all this kind of stuff. But go to a Chick-fil-A in suburbia Georgia right now, and you're not going to see a lot of dads in there. You're going to see a lot of moms with a lot of little kids.
And what I'm saying is when mom is like, hey, I'm going to pick up the kids after soccer, and then we're going to go grab some Chick-fil-A, and all it takes is for him to say, bring them to Popeyes.
well, the one thing though,
I
and
get
this
that, but
Chick-fil-A
that's not
is
enough.
incredibly efficient.
Look, if the mom doesn't care about the brand at all, then the slightest nudge should knock her off.
No,
shouldn't
but the
it?
moms love the brand. That's what I'm saying. The moms absolutely love the Chick-fil-A brand.
But-
I cannot think of a brand the suburban moms love more than Chick-fil-A. At least in
But
the
for-
South.
for what-
Keep in mind, y'all don't have them up here yet, do you?
Not
We do.
really.
What do you mean? We have them all over the place. We get Chick-fil-A all the time.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
thing-
we,
I
we
grew up
order
with
big things
them
of
not
Chick-fil-A here.
around.
We're not going to do it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy from them.
I would agree with you if
Every mall's got it.
I would agree with
yeah.
you if the point was simply that, people are only going to Chick-fil-A because of the more conservative values, the fact that they've been maligned by the left, but they have probably the most efficient drive-through system
Yes.
of any fast food chain. They get you in and they get you out no matter how long that line
Absolutely
is.
wrong.
Oh, no, that is not wrong. You cannot, you absolutely,
way.
I'm
All right, who's
completely
better?
correct.
That's the
Snopes
aficionado.
fact-checked. What you said was true. Snopes agrees with you. I'm correct about this.
Chick-fil-A's drive-through is overloaded.
What? Explain it.
If there's one drive-through restaurant that I've left, it's Chick-fil-A.
And that's
Are you
up here
serious?
locations?
This was
All
in
right.
Jersey and down here.
Okay, in Jersey,
Okay.
yes. Here's the problem.
And-
That's
and
what I'm talking
down
about.
here.
Okay,
And down
even,
here.
even here. So that's what I'm talking about in the South. Maybe y'all don't have enough homeschool kids here to run the Chick-fil-A's like we do in the South. But that is like jokingly, it is largely run by homeschool
Look, man,
kids.
if you think the moral fiber of the homeschool kids and conservatives are so weak they can't even push back on this, then so be it. Of all the
you're not going to
companies-
have me arguing the strong moral fiber of conservatives willing to stand up. I've been proud and impressed to see that with Bud Light, but we have a history of conservatives of not standing up for anything,
I
fighting
agree.
back. So that's I get it,
but also like about the drive-through thing. Yo,
They're
that's
so efficient.
crazy. The lines take so long,
Oh,
and
I
I
totally
understand it's an
disagree.
issue of demand.
Yeah.
but I would say every time I've gone to Taco Bell, I drive up, I
When you
order.
live Moss?
When we live Moss, we drive up. We wait a little bit, we order, we're gone. Starbucks, we wait a little bit, we drive up, we order, we're gone. Chick-fil-A, we sit in line, someone comes at the window, they take our order, we're sitting there, a half an hour later, we get our food, and I'm like, there's 2 lanes to go through, there's an exit lane. It's insane. They've prioritized their drive-through to such a ridiculous degree. On more than one occasion, we've just been like, let's just leave, and then we've pulled out and left because it took too long.
Every time I've ever gone there, I've been extremely impressed with how quickly I got through the drive-thru. Like I've been to McDonald's or Taco Bell or Wendy's with a line that was a quarter of the length of Chick-fil-A lines I've been in. It took 5 times as long.
That's my experience.
It looks like
it would be different in the South. I promise you this.
That could also be, but the thing is, when you're in the South, like, I'm sorry, I also have lived in Georgia for a number of years. Service is usually much slower there. But when I go to Chick-fil-A down there, it is like you are in and out.
Then go to the one here.
Yeah, I don't
I may
think
do
so.
that
It's
tomorrow.
bad.
I'm just
No, I'm
genuinely
boycotting
curious
Chick-fil-A,
now.
Tim.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, yeah. I mean, look, they've hired a DEI. This is more than just a promotional campaign. This is outright saying from the top down, they have put a cult, non-theistic religious office in their business.
Yeah.
And it's worse than the Chinese Communist Party. The Chinese Communist Party, as a government agency, puts Communist Party offices in businesses in China, but it is an element of government. This is a cult that is putting its tendrils in everything. And the story that the media is running is that the right is angry over like equality or something like that. They're lying, of course. They're making up lies. The reality is a new, non-theistic, it's the beer, non-theistic religion is now putting itself in all of our businesses and then forcing those businesses to destroy themselves. Unless, like, we're at the point now where it may be that the moral fiber of the average American, if you're right, is so pathetic that we're doomed.
Well, I think part of what's really disturbing about the Chick-fil-A situation is that usually with this DEI stuff, when it's implemented, my understanding is it's because people think that that will make their business more attractive to venture capital or shareholders, but Chick-fil-A isn't even a publicly traded company. I have no idea where the demand was.
Unless they have some kind of plans for venture capital expansion, et cetera. But that's part of what you're talking about, the lack of courage or sticking through that's part of a large part of why we created Conservative Dad's Ultra Right Beer. And it was to encourage people to make a stand and stick through that stand. And beer happens to be the catalyst. And, one thing I was talking with Scott Pressler about is we're going to use this as a catalyst we're going to actually have on the cans like a QR code where you can scan it to register to vote. Because we have tons of rural conservative individuals that drink a lot of beer but don't vote. And so we're going to use this as a catalyst to get those people to do that.
That is brilliant.
Tell them to vote responsibly.
Well, I think if they're drinking Conservative Dad's Ultra Right Beer, there's a good chance they're going to vote okay.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.